Everyone, I mentioned in my series review of The Acolyte that the next video would be focused on how Disney could have easily fixed some of the biggest problems with the series while still using the same basic structure and having the series still land pretty much where it did in the finale. When I went to edit the video, I realized that it was blurry and making it basically unusable. I thought you guys might be all alkalited out by this time talking about it, but hey, points to Jeffrey Sachs for leaving a comment and asking about the video. And I realized, you know what? I'm going to have to refilm this thing because, yes, I actually do read your comments and they absolutely do sway me into action. So here we are. First, please do give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. And while you're here, I want you to leave a comment and tell me how you think Disney could have fixed the script for The Acolyte, or what they can do to fix it for season 2, if there is one, because let's face it, it has been kind of fun chatting about season 1 with you guys, and I would love to keep doing this. So we all know that Star Wars is based on mythology and that it follows the incorporation of figures and patterns from Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey into the film. And one of the most important themes in the story structure of Star Wars is the idea of hope and how the unexpected hero, Luke, with the assistance of his friends, Han and Chewie and Leia, and his mentor, Ben Kenobi, can stop the unstoppable evil and save the world. Basically, Vader and the Death Star, with the greatest power that the universe has to offer, which again is hope. It is the defining feature of the Star Wars universe. The reason that The Acolyte was such a promising series is that its structure essentially follows the same pattern, which means that a semi-talented writer could have easily crafted a story that would have been satisfying, if not compelling. George Lucas also adopted a very Aristotelian, I can never pronounce that word, Aristotelian, let's try that a different way. George Lucas also adopted the Aristotelian way of telling stories. Basically, Aristotle put together some rules and how stories are built. There are a bunch of different things that he identifies, but really, when you boil it all down, it's all about character. And so George Lucas went really deep on character, making that the focus of Star Wars, not the spectacle of space and all of the flashbangs that happen there. The story was always primary. And I think that Leslye Headland tried to subvert the established Star Wars storytelling patterns in order to make the story her own. It was her way of kind of making it better, making it different. And normally I applaud the desire to tell unique and original stories in unique and original ways. But hey, if you're going to try to subvert both Joseph Campbell and Aristotle within your story, you had better be one of the most talented writers of your generation, or you are just going to make a giant mess of it. And that's exactly what Leslye Headland did. And that's exactly where she landed. She just made a mess of it. So looking at the script and what actually ended up filmed and on screen, that's what I want to look at here. So if I were asked, here's the workshop critique that I would have given to Leslye Headland if she'd asked. Here are some quick fixes that would have leveled up the overall season so that we could review things other than plot holes, shallow characters, and lore issues. Restore Master Soul as a flawed but honorable mentor to Osha. So to do this, you really need to do it in episode 1 or 2. And Do it in episode 2 if you want to create a little extra tension by drawing it out, but don't go further than that. And do it when he first really meets Osha after all those years apart. Show him as a brave and honest person telling her the truth now while she still trusts him, and when it matters most to preserve her trust. It will give her time to be angry, and she will be angry, but it will also give her time to forgive him and for him to earn back her trust. Soul needs to actually tell the whole truth, as well as the fact that he thought her life was in danger because of the ceremonial markings that the coven had placed on May's forehead. When confronting Osha's mother and the coven, Osha's mother actually attacked him using the Force in a way that Soul didn't recognize or understand. And in defending himself, he ended up killing her. He didn't mean to do it. And then he should tell her that after they capture May, he would turn himself into the Jedi Council, like he wanted to do all along. The story threads that this would create between Saul and Osha and May would immediately complicate their relationships, making things more difficult, but also deepening the character development and making their future choices so much more understandable. Next tip, give May a path to redemption. When Saul eventually captures May, he should also tell her the truth, and that not only does she now know, but Osha also knows. There's no more mystery. There's nothing to uncover. But he also needs to let May know that he and Osha agreed that he would turn himself into the Jedi Council after this was all over. That would take out the fire from May, and it would actually create some common ground for Soul to convince May to help him save Osha from Qimir. She would have been receptive to the idea, and May could have come up with a plan to save Osha at all costs and an understanding of what that means, because they both clearly love her. Next workshop tip, give Master Soul an honorable death. And this means that when Soul and Qimir are fighting, Qimir could be the one threatening to kill Osha. Whether he actually would do it or not is irrelevant. When he's threatening her, it would create a new dynamic. And both May and Soul would have believed that Qimir would kill Osha. And so May could have then logically killed Soul with a force choke, completing her master's commands and her training, and using a traditional Sith power to kill. Soul could have then told Osha in his last breath that it was okay and to trust in the Force. That would have all made so much sense. Soul would have also have been okay with this, just like Ben Kenobi was in Star Wars. It would have been a really interesting parallel because he would be trusting in May's choice to protect the life of her sister. Next workshop tip, Qimir needs to choose May. And to protect May, he needs to tell her that they have to go. Like after this is all done, they've got to get out of here because the Jedi are coming. And May should have been the one to say, okay, but you have to let Osha go. That would have made sense. It would have made logical story sense. Qimir could still have done the Vulcan mind wipe on Osha, removing her memory to a point. Then, before they left, May could have hugged Osha, telling her she and Soul had a deal to save Osha and find May's master, which, of course, Osha would forget as soon as she got the mind wipe. But due to their connection, that knowledge would be able to get resurfaced at some point in season 2. But we would know that May is still honoring the deal. This would also set up Qimir to go all in on becoming the Acolyte he should be the acolyte of the story and feel enraged by May's betrayal when he finds out about it in season 2. And that would make so much sense given his betrayal by his former master. Which brings us to the next workshop point, the evil green Jedi lady. She could have still done all those evil shenanigans that she did and still have blamed Saul for everything. But we, the audience, we would have known the truth that Master Saul was a good and honorable person and that he told the truth that protected Osha and May and the Jedi Order itself in his last moments. Next workshop tip, the Vergent Connection needs to be more apparent. That mental connection between May and Osha was weak at best. Osha should have been haunted by images of May all her life. She could have chalked it up to dreams or whatever, which would have explained why she couldn't let go of May and embrace being a Jedi, because May wasn't dead. After May resurfaced, that connection should have grown stronger between them. And if we knew it was there, if we could see that thing growing, it would have made so much sense, creating moments of mental joining, like what we saw with Kylo Ren and Rey in that third trilogy. That would have incorporated some accepted canon and lore to help explain the divergence, as well as the mental flip-flopping that we were seeing between Osha and May. Plus, it could have even set up a rejoining of the two women into a single woman in season 2. And final workshop advice: don't make Yoda look incompetent. I mean, if you're going to mess with a character, don't mess with Yoda. This one I am adding after the fact, based on a comment from Daniel Carappa. All of these lies, all of these moments of deceit were made under Yoda's nose on his watch. He is so incredibly force sensitive that he can tell when the slightest things go wrong, even when he doesn't know the cause. I simply can't believe that evil green Jedi lady could have gotten away with lying to him over an extended period of time and not have him know about it, not have him at least sense something. And in that final scene, she was the one setting the terms by going into Yoda's office and saying, Master Yoda, we have got a problem. He should have been the one calling her and telling her to come see him. And he should have been the one setting the terms for that meeting. And when she arrived, he should have said, a problem we have. And just imagine that I said that in a proper Yoda voice. I just can't do voices. And the episode should have ended there, showing her with a panic-stricken face. And then that would have set up season 2. There are lots of other ways that season 1 could have ironed out the story issues, but these at least would have preserved the Jedi as a force for good, would have kept Osha as the protagonist, would have given us a look at how the Sith are formed, and it would have set up season 2 for a sister-on-sister battle that would have given Qimir the opportunity to either choose good to save Osha, who he actually likes, and I do believe that, or have May fall into darkness so that Osha could save May. There would have been so many interesting possibilities that would have made good story sense. But the path Leslye Headland took to the finale didn't set up a series for a successful season 2. If they do produce it, they're going to have to do a lot of very hard work and a lot of story gymnastics to fix these problems. And even then, it might not work out. But the best thing that they can do now is to not hand this show back to Leslye Headland, because if they do, I don't believe it will succeed. Nobody trusts her with this story at this point. but assigning a new writer and a new director who are not the same person would actually buy Disney some credit with fans, and a lot of people would give the story an extra chance. And that's how I would have fixed some of the biggest problems in the series. What do you think? How do you think they can fix season 2 if it can actually be fixed? Thanks again, everyone. Be sure to like this video and subscribe for more because I love chatting with you about Star Wars. Kind of one of my favorite things. Thanks again, and I will see you all again soon. Bye for now.